Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the podcast about action figures. But you know, it's a little bit edgier. You might even say it's a little bit extreme. And I know something about extreme because I'm the franchise Shane Douglas. Square and Circle Action Figure Podcast, the gold standard. Tune in or get your, you-know-what, franchise. Now cut the music.
All right, everybody, let's get into this review of the Jazwares Aew All Elite Wrestling Unrivaled Collection Series 10. This is number 84 in the series. We're going to look at Taz today. This was newly released by Jazwares Aew. I did get a pre-order in via Ringside Collectibles, so I was fortunate enough to get this really early and pre-order these really early. So if you guys have Ringside pre-orders, they should be shipping out soon. I'm really excited actually to get into this figure because we haven't had a Taz figure in a very long time, let alone an announcer/manager Taz. So I think this was definitely warranted. I love the direction. I love the name that they, used to fill in the series. And we'll review the series as we review the packaging a little bit later on in this review. But to start, quick glance at this figure. It looks great. I don't really have any qualms with it. I know there have been a lot of complaints about the head sculpts, about the use of a plastic jacket on Jazwares figures. I kind of understand why they're doing that. But really, to get into it, being a really hardcore ECW fan growing up, I mean, this is a dream figure for a lot of us. I think Taz was synonymous with ECW. I'm hoping that his chase figure is more in-ring style. They could also go in the direction of giving us Luminars. I forgot how to pronounce it, so go hit the comments below and let me know how to correctly pronounce that again. I know Jeremy Padower was on our podcast portion of the Squared Circle Action Figure podcast, not our YouTube channel, and he did mention that it is like Luminares, I believe, and that Chris Jericho coined that phrase. So that's why they are currently using it, but I would love to get that style figure with Taz here, more of that orange, more of that old school, survive if I let you kind of a deal. And I hope we do get that down the line if we don't get that with that chase. I don't know if that chase has been released yet either. I don't know if it's been identified or if an announcement has been made which figures are the chase in Series 10. I believe it was rumored to be the Taz, and I want to say as we pull in here, I want to say that it was going to be the Taz and possibly the Baker. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. But anyway, let's briefly review the packaging before we get this out of the plastic prison he is in. And again, I'm mostly a minimum card collector, but these days I'm kind of downsizing. And unless it's a very rare figure, I mean, it has to be less than, 1,000 production run. I'm probably going to open it up moving forward. These guys, these are produced in mass numbers. I mean, we're talking about the tens of thousands of figures, so they're not rare. You're gonna find them. I would have to say a production run on this type of figure goes into the 30 to 50,000 piece range. I don't know, I could be wrong. Again, I know it's spread out throughout this entire series, so there may be less Taz's made, but we're not talking about a 1 of 5,000 even here, you know what I'm saying? So if it was a 1 of 5,000, it would be chase. So in that situation, I don't see any benefit of keeping it on the package other than when we review these. This is pretty cool, this little Easter eggs. I think that would be the only reason to do it. I mean, the packaging looks great regardless, so let's get right into it. As you can see, this is the default packaging for the Unrivaled Unmatched collection. They just changed the colors up. I mean, it's basically the same series, but they wanted to get more figures out on the shelf. That's what Jazwares has said in the past. In order to do so, they changed the packaging color up. They changed the name of the actual collection, and now we have more opportunity of getting more AEW figures in a single year through retail. But to start, you have your default packaging here with the AEW logo, the gold, the black, the white, the AEW logo on this side. You also have Series 10. This is number 84 in the entire Unrivaled collection. I think we're approaching 100. You do have the Easter egg M here. We'll get into that, I guess, as we go along. But I think with these Easter eggs, what they should do is if you do get the entire set and you figure out the Easter egg in the respective set or over the course of 2 sets, there should be some sort of submission, right? I'd like to see a submission where, you can actually guess the Easter egg, submit it, and then you're entered to win a free figure or something, Jazwares. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be giving back to the fans. It'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Comment below, let me know your thoughts, but I think they should incorporate this into some sort of a promotional thing, and then it would be fun. It would be almost like the Christmas Story Ovaltine thing, but let's hope that it isn't an advertisement. But anyway, getting back to the packaging, you have Taz here in his announcer managerial look. Front of the package, you have the figure. Taz here, no single Z. I guess maybe TAZZ is owned or licensed by the WWE or something. I have no idea, but it is Taz, which is great. You got his in-ring photo here with his orange hat, and then obviously his FTW Taz signature. All the rest of Series 10 Arrival Collection are listed here, including Wardlow, Hager, Baker, Miro, and Andrade El Idolo. I do love this Britt Baker, and we'll get into that in another review. And I think the Miro came out really well as well. I think all the figures in this series are really really well. There's a little bit of a softness in their faces, which we can discuss later as we open to the sub. But again, pretty much your simple packaging here from AEW. So let's get this plastic prison open, and we'll review the figure. All right, everybody. Well, getting into the accessories here, as you can see in front of me, we have a microphone hand, sunglasses, and an alternate head sculpt. I'm just going to start with the microphone. As you can see here, the microphone is a regular AEW microphone, nothing special there. You have his grip hand here that you can throw the microphone in, and he can talk with it. As we review the figure, we'll get into a little bit later how it's kind of, unfortunately, there's a deterrent to it where you're not going to be able to hold the microphone up if he's got his jacket on, unfortunately. We do have the sunglasses as well. I mean, they are basic sunglasses, as you can see here. I mean, nothing too crazy here. And then this alternate head sculpt is, I think, one of the points of contention with this figure. I don't think people were very keen or high on the way this head sculpt looked, but to tell you the truth, I think it looks great. I mean, he's just screaming, you know, it's Taz screaming. He's got the bald head. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think this is a pretty decent sculpt scan. I mean, it's not terrible, so I don't know. I mean, it looks like him. His nose looks like him from every direction. I know people didn't like it, but I like it. I don't really have any qualms about it. It's a great alternate head sculpt. We got two. I don't know if they gave us another one because people didn't like this or that was planned all along. But with that said, let's get the accessories out of the way and we'll get right into the figure review. All right, everybody, we have the Taz in hand. These Jazwares AEW figures are just amazing. I absolutely love the heft to them. You can see that they're using a better quality plastic all around. And the paint applications are just so well done. And again, I can get into a little bit more detail as I put this up to the camera. But it is amazing. Look, this Taz figure is extremely, extremely basic. I'm not going to say that this Taz figure is, you know, one of the most elaborate in its design or detail, but it really checks all the boxes for me, guys. I mean, it shows him in sort of a sweatpant look with these sneakers. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I really love this figure. I think they nailed the not screaming head sculpt. It looks just like Taz, especially if you put the glasses on. Now, we didn't do that obviously in the initial run of reviewing the accessories, but I mean, that looks like Taz, guys. I'm sorry, that looks like a modern Taz. It's detailed. I love the shading in the beard area as well. I think Jazwares did an incredible job at shading the bearded area of this figure, as they do with a lot of their figures. Their hair and their sculpt and their texture is incredible. So I absolutely love that about this figure. Now, a lot of people told me that they were, you know, there was a deterrent of this, oh man, this plastic jacket, and they're right. Look, it's tough. You can barely move his hand up, and he barely takes his jacket off. So I can see where people, I'll put these to the side, I could see where people, as we remove this hand and put this accessory hand with the microphone on, I could see where they can have a complaint about that, right? Because, you know, guys, we want to move our figures in a certain way, you know, and you can't get this up, you know. So I mean, I could see where that this could be a deterrent for people. yeah, when they're posing their figs for figure photography or just displaying them in their collection. So with that said, you know, I mean, I think that Jazwares needs to do a better job of recognizing this, when to use these hard rubber jackets or hard plastic jackets. And they're not even hard, they are flexible, you know, and maybe with heat you may be able to get it, but I know different companies like Mattel are doing like more flexible style jackets that you can move the arms in and such. Maybe that is a technology that Jazwares needs to implement in their figures moving forward. You know, it's obviously going to be a higher cost, but we'll see where it goes from here. Aside from that, you know, I'm going to take the hands off. We'll take the jacket off just to see what's under it. I mean, I always like to do that. They're usually very simple to get these jackets on and off of Jazwares AEW figures. I've never really had a problem. As you can see, it just slides right off. You just take the hands off, and then you just put the hands right on, pop them in, as I do here. Very, very simple, very seamless. You know, just me fooling around here. And then here you go. Here's Taz without his jacket. Now, I do have one complaint about Jazwares AEW figures. I love the fact that they have ratcheted joints, which they kind of still have, I think. Yeah, you can hear the ratcheted joints, but they tend to loosen up over time. So you guys got to watch out. Like, they're very nice and tight now, but if you have them on display, they tend to loosen up, and I like that to be I like them to not loosen up as much moving forward. Now, obviously, yeah, if you have him in just his sweatshirt, I think it's a depiction of his sweatshirt, you can get the full image here. I do also like, really quickly, how they included the hand, the ring on the hand. I thought that was really awesome. That's just again, attention to detail and very much thoughtfulness of Jazwares. And they have, both hands have this ring on his finger, which is incredible. It's incredible that they went to that length, which is, it's molded on, as you can see, and it's got that silver color to just, you know, give the figure that sort of detail. Now, as far as articulation goes, guys, I don't do a lot of articulation on that channel. That's not for me. You're going to get full rotations everywhere. You're going to get premium articulation with these figures. I don't know what some people want to do with them half the time, but I mean, God, look at that. That is a full rotation in the knee. I mean, you have obviously ankle joints that go every which way possible. I mean, it's a great moving figure. I mean, look, there we go. Ball joint at the waist. It just popped right off because you're not supposed to. This is not supposed to come off. You know, I mean, you got to think. But there is a ball joint at the waist, and he can flex down and up, but he's not going to be doing those movements. You're not going to be posing him in super crazy wrestling holds as an announcer, as this figure depicts. He's a manager and announcer. So, I mean, you know, you can have him on your shelf, probably just standing up and doing his thing, doing his Taz thing next to his, you know, Team Taz guys. Yeah, so they really do a great job, Jazwares, at completing factions. Now you have Team Taz, you got Ricky Starks, you got Hobbs, you got Taz. You know, I think overall I love this figure. I think it's a great figure. I think you should add it to your collection. I hope we get actually an in-ring Taz. But to complete this review, I mean, it's just a great overall Taz figure. I mean, even the detail here in the sweatpant area, the shirt area here, you have molded detail. It's incredible. That's all I got to say about this figure, basically. All right, everybody. Well, that is it for this review. Thanks for joining us. This is a great Taz figure. Definitely you should add it to your Jazwares AEW collection. I think it's a must-have. Fits right in there with the Team Taz faction. Great figure by Jazwares. My hats go off to obviously everybody there at the team. Jeremy, Gregory, and Magic. You're doing an incredible job. Can't wait to get more figures by you guys. And for our followers and for people watching this video, don't forget to subscribe if you liked what you saw today. If you like what you heard, don't forget to comment in the comment section below. Also, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified every time a new video goes live here at the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast YouTube channel. So stay tuned for our continuing coverage and continuing reviews of all new and old wrestling figure releases. And remember, the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast is the gold standard in wrestling figure collecting.